Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Among the Stars Celebrity Perfume Reviews. Today, I'm reviewing the very first fragrance by Miss Britney Spears, and it is Curious. Curious was launched in 2004 and was the first fragrance Britney ever released, and she signed originally with Coty. Shortly after signing with Coty, Elizabeth Arden, I believe, gave her a better deal, and she decided to split ways with Coty and went with Elizabeth Arden to release her second fragrance in late 2005, and that was the one and only well-known Fantasy. And what happened with Britney and Coty is similar to what happened with Katy Perry and Gigantic Perfumes. When she switched from them, Elizabeth Arden took over Curious, and a little bit changed from the original Curious. The notes were pretty much the same. Britney sat down and made sure that when Elizabeth Arden transferred the perfume over and they got all the things from Coty, that it was the exact same perfume. So in the transfer, the perfume did not change its scent any, but the box did change a little bit, as I will be showing you the Coty, or the Elizabeth Arden box. I don't actually have a Coty box, so I can't show you the Coty box, but I can point out the differences in the Coty box. Now, I actually have two different bottles of, well, three technically, but two different full-size bottles of Curious. I have the one that came with the atomizer, which this is very well known, but not very well liked because the atomizer doesn't close all the time, and it leaves the oxygen to get in there, and will change the fragrance colors after some period of time. This fragrance, mine actually hasn't started turning yellow too terribly bad yet, but it will, and I'm probably going to take the atomizer off and put the cap back on so it will last. Mainly, I don't use this fragrance that much anyway. When I do, I use the other one, because I don't really like atomizers. I like the look of them, but I don't really like them. But anyway, this is the original one from 2004, or late 2004, beginning 2005, when she first transferred to Elizabeth Arden and they released Curious. This was from a few years later, and they removed the atomizer for whatever reason, probably because of the great deal of changing with the fragrance, because you can tell this is kind of getting yellow versus this one, which isn't very yellow. And the glasses are a little bit different color, in my opinion. Easiest way to do it is this way. I mean, this one's a little more green. This one's a little more blue. When she did change over to Elizabeth Arden, they kept the same charms on the bottle for a little bit, but then they kind of cheaped them out and made them a lot cheaper, really. This bottle is very antique looking with its atomizer and its, as I call it, the UFO shaped bottle. The charms on this are these two hearts, and as you can see, they are split. If I can get them split, they're split. When Elizabeth Arden decided to go cheaper, they just made it a couple little gems versus the few that come down, and then they made it very cheap, and it looks like that. I mean, very cheap looking. I also have the two little ones, and this one's kind of turned yellow a little bit, just like the other one. That one's still the same color. I believe one of these is, I know one's a little bit bigger than the other. I think one's a 0.25 and the other one's a 0.33. But box-wise, these are the two boxes side by side. I believe that this one is, when they changed the bottle to get rid of the atomizer, they kind of changed the way the box looked. Most people wouldn't notice it, but it does look very faded to me. When I bought this, I kind of went through several different boxes thinking that they were all faded, and they're not faded. There's no sun bleaching. It just looks that way compared to the original. If you guys can see. I mean, the pinks show it very well. One's really, really pink and one's a little bit lighter. The non-atomizer box is kind of just the boring. It just opens up like this and it says, "Do you dare?" And then it opens up like this on the inside, and then you kind of pull this up and it sits in this like origami of pink cardboard. The original Curious box, which was kind of fun. The first few pillars that Britney launched all had fun boxes. I mean, Curious had a fun box. Fantasy's original box was really fun. And the Believe box was really fun. But this one is a little more origami than the other one. The top just slides off like this. And it reveals all these little windows and holes through it. The top of the box has this piece of plastic in it that comes out like this. And the atomizer would sit up here. And it had this little card that's got the polka dots on it. Now the thing with the polka dots is you have to kind of line them up just right on the inside of the box, because the holes are in very specific location, and if it's not lined up, your polka dots won't show through in their correct manner like they're supposed to. So when you get this fragrance, the atomizer obviously isn't on it, and it comes with this little blue cap that screws on, and it kind of sits in this little box, and it says, you know, Britney Spears Curious all the way around. And the thing that kind of bothers me about this one is the Cody version of this box. When you open it up and it folds down like this, the fragrance would sit in here on this little tray, and all these little sides would say, "Do you dare?" And when Cody took over, they didn't put the "Do you dare" on their atomizer box for some reason, whatever it may be. But my opinion, this fragrance, I think this one smells a little bit different than this one. There's nothing wrong with this one. This one isn't like oxidizing or going bad or anything. I honestly believe that this fragrance is a little yellow versus this one, which I think they changed, because I know that they changed the whole packaging and everything, so I think when they changed the packaging and got rid of the atomizer, they changed the scent a little bit. And when it was first released, it got re-released for Valentine's Day a few years later, and we got the Curious Heart fragrance, and the box is nothing like the original, completely different. We have the word it says Curious Heart Britney Spears with this kind of tattoo-esque look to it. And it's got all this little hearts on it. And it's got little fleur-de-lises and hearts on the box itself. And then it says in these hearts all around, fragrance with benefits. When you open this box, when you first get it, it comes with a little card. And it says on the back of the box, enter at CuriousHeartBritneySpears.com for a chance to win. No purchase necessary. Enter contest by 5/31/08. And there was something you could have won. I'm not too sure what you could have won. But they did bring back the atomizer for the Curious Heart fragrance. This is the exact to the T fragrance that Curious was. I've heard a lot of people say it's a sweeter or a different version of Curious. It's not. It is the exact same scent Curious is. There's no difference at all. I cannot iterate that any more than I've heard. Because when I bought this, they told me, oh yeah, it's a whole new fragrance. It's not. It is the exact same thing as Curious. The only thing is they just did like a limited edition bottle of it. And they made it this pink, white, or pink milky glass with the words Curious Heart Britney Spears, that same little tattoo logo, with hearts and fleur-de-lises all the way around. Fleur-de-lis, as we know, is for Britney Spears' home state of Illinois, of Louisiana. It's on both sides of the bottle, as you guys can see. And it has the pink atomizer, which I think this is actually the exact same atomizer that went with Curious, In Control Curious, sorry. I think that these two, the non-atomizer and the atomizer Curious Heart, smell exactly alike. Like I said, I think this one smells a little bit different. In my opinion, the notes, first off, the notes of this fragrance, it opens with, it is a white floral scent, I forgot to tell you guys that, I'm sorry, with Louisiana Magnolia, Golden Pear, Lotus, Tuberose, Star Jasmine, Pink Clementine, Vanilla Infused Musk, Sandalwood, and Blonde Woods. Now, while I was talking to you guys, I just happened to break off one of the hearts. I'll have to fix it. But this one, now the reason I don't like atomizers is because they suck, in my opinion. But this one, when you first spray it, it's just Magnolia. And versus this one, and I think the only difference is this one has a little bit more of a vanilla opening versus this one being just straight Magnolia when you first spray it. But when you first spray this, it's very Magnolia. There's a little bit of pear there, but you can't really detect it too much. The Lotus kind of gives it that wet floral scent to it. But as it kind of dries down a little bit, we smell more of that jasmine and more of the white florals. There's no fruit besides the pear in this fragrance. There is no musk. It's just vanilla, and there's musk, but it's vanilla infused. It doesn't have that vanilla dry down like most fragrances do. This, I believe, is just very floral, very white, crisp, clean, juicy floral scent. It is very mature for Britney. It was kind of, a little bit of a weird step to see her go from something as mature and older that I believe someone in their 30s could wear with Curious to go to something very young like the Fantasy line. But this, Britney did a lot of involvement with this fragrance when it was first launched. And it just kind of, it was taken very well in the community from her. And now I'll see you guys, now that it's dried down, I can really smell that. The musk and the jasmine. The jasmine, I believe, first off, I should say this, the Magnolia kind of is there, the whole scent. And I believe Britney did that on purpose because the Magnolia reminds her of home. It is the Louisiana Magnolia since she's from Louisiana. And it kind of just represents itself all the way through this fragrance. As it kind of dries down, like I said, you got more of that jasmine, more of the lilies and stuff like that, and then it kind of dries way down, and you smell just the musky, vanilla-y Magnolia, and that's kind of just its base. That's kind of what finishes off its fragrance. It lasts quite a long time. It's got a very good projection when you spray it on. I believe the fragrance goes more sprayed out of this than out of this. Like I said, I don't really like these atomizers. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. See if I can get my camera to focus on it. When you spray it, it's like it kind of goes. You almost have to spray it out here to get it to go on you. I don't like atomizers mainly because I just like the simple one hand spritz versus having to. I mean, you could probably one hand this if you wanted to, but it's a little bit harder. Britney did say when she first launched this fragrance that it was her, it was a little more of her favorite scent, and then she kind of went on a few years later and created Believe, which she said was her absolute favorite scent. It was her most personal scent. It was her scent, and because of that, I'm a little weirded out that she didn't do another flanker off of Believe. Maybe she will at some point in time, we never know. On my personal opinion, since this was launched 10 years ago, this year. I thought of it before they did Fantasy Anniversary Edition. I thought they should have done Fantasy Curious, Curious Anniversary Edition. But they did Fantasy since it was her most popular scent. But I think they should have done a Curious Fantasy, a Curious Anniversary Edition. Or I think since it's been 10 years since they launched the first one, I think they should launch another flanker into the line. More than just repackaging the bottle. I don't want them to repackage it in a whole new bottle again. They've done that twice. They did it with Fantasy. They did it with Curious. I think they should just be done with it and kind of just call it quits on that. But we'll never know. Her team's always kind of surprising us, so we'll see where they go. But like always, guys, follow me on Twitter, like, subscribe, comment below if you guys have any reviews. Like I said previously, I will be doing a very, very, very special review later this week. I'm hoping Friday. Fingers crossed it's going to be Friday. Today is Wednesday. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be Friday. If it won't be Friday, it will be Monday. Don't hold me to it. I'm going to try to review it Monday. I'm going to try to review it Friday if I get it Friday. If I don't get it Friday, I'll review it Monday. But the video may not be up right away. Just give me some time and I will get it up for you guys. It's something I'm very, very happy to bring to you guys. I just had to wait. Sorry. But like always, you guys, follow me on Twitter, A to S Perfume. Thanks, guys.